In order to help aid small businesses, City Council recently passed a series of relief bills, which includes limits on the amount of third-party food app fees, protection of commercial tenants facing harassment, suspension of personal liability clause, and the waiving of sidewalk cafe fees.
While it is inspiring to hear about the generosity and resilience of our small business owners, we do not want you to bear this weight alone. Many of you have called for very specific legislation and governmental support to help you navigate this unprecedented crisis.
These bills come after New York City's COVID-19 Small Business Services Relief Program announced the percentages of aid provided per borough. As of April 26, only 1% of the COVID-19 loans were given to the Bronx, with Manhattan receiving 66%. Council member and chair of the Small Business Committee, Mark Jonai, expressed that this represents yet another disparity in the borough.
1% of the loan went to the borough of the Bronx and 66% went to Manhattan. And we know that most of these small businesses exist in the outer boroughs. So already we see a huge disparity here on how these loans are being. Does anyone even know how many went to minority and women-owned businesses, the very group that we're supposed to be fighting for? And this administration, I hope, is hearing this loud and clear. This council is not going to accept that. This committee is not going to accept that.
The 1% to the Bronx is disgusting. The city of New York needs to take notice and say that there's something wrong with the system if the Bronx is not being allocated the monies, and something needs to change. And this will be followed up with a very strong letter. And I'm asking the representatives from the Bronx, especially, to take notice of this, because at this point, there's something wrong with the system and the Bronx is going to fall way behind more than it has in the past. And I think there's something wrong with all of that.
Through their micro-enterprise project, Volunteers of Legal Services conducted a survey of 48 small businesses in late March. They found that only 3 of 48 reported as fully operational and over half reported as fully closed, slashing their income in fears of fees outweighing their profits during this pandemic. Vols supports the new bills, but they now urge the City Council to go one step further in protecting small businesses in boroughs like the Bronx.
A segment of small business owners in particular I find it difficult to access services and support, in particular, women, minorities, business owners, immigrants, and folks who are operating businesses in areas that are gentrifying or that are subject to displacement. We have found in general are typically the ones who are least able to access the services that are available to them to support them to open businesses and to make sure their businesses thrive. And so the survey that we put out in late March really bore that out. The governor's executive order means that nobody can be evicted, but it doesn't say anything about the rent. And unfortunately, in the vast majority of instances under these leases, small business owners will continue to have to pay that rent as it comes due. And so as soon as that eviction moratorium is over, as soon as the courts are reopened, unless there is a forgiveness of that rent, we're going to see a huge wave of eviction.
Volunteers of Legal Services will continue to provide free pro bono legal services and offer assistance towards applying for loans for small businesses in need. Visit volsprobono.org or call their hotline at 347-521-5729. Reporting for BronxNet, Sanji Lopez.